What's up guys? Today I will show you the best glove knife combos for every single pair of gloves in CS2. I mainly tried to pair high tier gloves with high tier knives and low tiers with low tiers, but there were a few specific combos where I used a mix of both if it worked very well. I spent over 50 hours testing combos to create the cleanest sets possible, so if you guys enjoy, consider subbing to the channel, and with that being said, let's get right into the video. Let's start with Moto Gloves, first ones being polygons, which I paired with a karambit blue steel. It's a clean blue combo that pairs the blade color with the inner palm of the gloves, and I went with a .35 float on the knife to make the blade a bit darker for a better match. Blood pressures are the perfect glove to pair with battle-scarred crimson web bowies. The blade is full black with red stains that resemble blood, and it fits the theme and colorway of the gloves very well. Anything around .75 float for the knife will work great. Spearmins are paired with the Karambit Gamma Doppler Phase 2. Color-wise, it's a perfect match since Phase 2s are minty green, and these are high-tier gloves, so going with the Karambit for the cleaner blade is the best option. I always like to pair smokeouts with Damascus steel knives because of the great color match, and the Ursus knife lines up in shape with the stripe on the back of the gloves. If you're going for a budget silver combo, this is one of the best ones that you could get. Turtles are great green budget gloves, and Shadow Daggers have one of the cheapest emeralds available. Everything fits perfectly here. The blades match the light green on the leather, and the handles match the dark green accents. Coolmans have great colors that can take advantage of high tier knives, so I paired them with a Karambit Gamma Doppler Phase 3, specifically a cyan bit to match the cyan colored spots on the gloves. This is basically the Moto Glove equivalent of the high tier bright blue combo. Next up for finish lines, I went with a Karambit blue steel and .30 float for the best color match with the dark blue on the gloves. If gloves are noisy in design, I recommend pairing a single color knife for the best combo possible. Boom gloves have a unique colorway that can only be matched by a Ursus Slaughter, but this combo works great. Pairing Ursus knives with Moto Gloves is a great idea if you like that blade shape lining up with the accent line on the back of the gloves. POW gloves primarily feature light orange, which can only be found on butterfly fades, and you will need a low fade percentage around 84 or lower to get that exact color covering most of the blade. Mango fades are expensive knives, but everything else doesn't look nearly as good with these gloves. Transports are basically limited to case-hardened gold gem knives, but that's all good since the combo looks great. I chose a Nomad to bring some more knife variety, and you can find plenty of market price patterns that feature a ton of yellow on the blade. For Eclipse gloves, I always recommend Shadow Dagger's lore. The knives match all the glove accents, and the inner design of the palms looks very similar to the shape of the daggers. It's also very cheap, so it's one of the best budget combos available in-game. Third Commando Company gloves are meant to be paired with the Ursus knife. The rubber part matches the knuckles, and the handles pair well with the leather accents. I went with Slaughter to match the stripe on the back of the gloves, and it even lines up with the shape of the knife. If you guys are interested in buying any of the skins you see in this video, definitely check out today's sponsor, which is GamerPay. GamerPay is a player-to-player trading site where you can buy and sell skins securely at highly competitive rates, which is why I personally recommend it. There's no buying fee and a 3% selling fee with some of the lowest skin prices available across all markets. So if you guys want to check it out, you can use my link in the description down below. Moving on to the sport gloves, we first have Vice gloves, which I paired with the Karambit fade, and going with a higher fade around 95% or more will give you the most amount of pink on the blade for the best color match and the cleanest look possible. Slingshots have many options available, but I chose the Bayonet Autotronic since the reds work well here, and the silver accents on the knife matches the white cuffs and triangles on the gloves. The handle being hidden on bayonets makes this combo even better. Continuing with bayonets, for amphibious gloves, I chose the Bayo Sapphire, and a huge tip for any combos using sapphires is making sure the pattern on the knife doesn't have any purple or green spots. Clear blue makes the combo stand out even more. I've shown every black combo possible for Nox, so I'm switching it up for a two-tone set with a Huntsman Emerald, which has the black handle to match the glove color, and the contrast between dark black and bright green looks amazing here. Scarlet Chamas have a light red color that works great with Slaughters, and Huntsmans have the black handle that matches the black secondary color of the gloves. Great mid-budget set if you prefer red and a sport glove look. Hedge maces are lime green at this point, so they don't match any Gamma Doppler phases 1-to-1, so instead I went with the M9 black laminate to match the black spots, and the handle being white is a huge bonus. Insanely clean combo that more hedge maze users should consider. Pandora's box gloves have the looks and price to be paired with a butterfly black pearl. The purples match when idling, but the best part is the inspect, since the accents on the handles have a light blue shine which matches the demon pattern on the inner palm of the gloves. Omegas are versatile for yellow combos, my favorite being the Bayonet lore. The green handle is hidden so it doesn't take away from the combo, and the yellow blade has the same shape and color as the yellow cutouts on the back of the gloves. Big games have a ton of knives you can pair them with, but to keep it simple for newer players, I went with the Stiletto Tiger Tooth. Stilettos have a brown handle to match the base color of the gloves, and the Tiger Tooth finish pairs well with the orange spots that you can get with different patterns. The best blue combo in the game is easily Superconductors and a Karambit Gamma Doppler Phase 1, or as most of you know it by, a Diamond Gem. I don't need to explain this one, it speaks for itself and looks absolutely insane with how clean this combo is. Bronze morphs aren't popular since red and green doesn't mix well, but this combo is a standout. The Crimson Web finish has the red to pair with the base color of the gloves, and getting this knife in exactly .31 float will have the classic knife wear that will have the exact same color as the palms and the same shape that's on the back of the gloves. Arid gloves are similar to transports, where they need case hardened gold gems, and since they are sport gloves, I went with a Karambit for this one. Lure knives are also an option if you can't find a gold gem pattern for a good price. Next up, we have Broken Fang gloves, the first ones being unhinged, which are cheap and versatile, matching a lot of knives, but I picked the M9 Bayonet Damascus Steel. The silver emblem matches the blade, and the black handle goes perfect with the leather on the gloves. The huge blade on this knife is a huge benefit for this combo. Jades are one of the few green gloves in the game, and they're pretty cheap as well. I picked the Bayonet Gamma Doppler Phase 2 since the handle is completely hidden with this knife, and Phase 2s have the best color match to go with these gloves. Needle points are extremely difficult to pair knives with, but I used a Stiletto Rust Coat with a .38 float for the silver brown color mix. The accents of rust on the blade works with the red on the needle points, and that's about the only combo that truly works here. Yellow bandits are pretty nice for yellow gloves, and it works perfectly with the gold gem Karambit. The blade matches the yellow on the gloves, and the black handle of the Karambit is perfect for the black leather. Standout yellow combo that's not overly expensive. Imperial Plaids are cheaper alternatives to Pandora's box gloves, and it's a great match for the Ursus Ultraviolet knife. This finish turns the knife handle purple that's identical to the gloves, and the gray blade gives the combo a clean two-tone look. Snow Leopards are flexible since they're black and white, but Scorched Skeleton knives can get max black patterns that fit perfectly since the blade closest to you will be white and the rest of the blade will retain the black color for a great match with the glove pattern. For black ties, I recommend Shadow Dagger's Black Laminate. The inner palm on these gloves looks amazing, and Shadow Dagger Inspects let you see the palms while matching the black and white colorway with this finish. King Snakes have great synergy with ivory handles on talons, and for the finish I went with Damascus Steel since Battle Scarred makes the blade much darker to match the snakeskin pattern of these gloves, both in color and texture. Razonda Reds have a very specific color that doesn't work with Slaughters, so instead I opted for a Stiletto Scorched with a max black pattern to match the black accents on these gloves. The stitching color is beige here, so most Scorched patterns will work since they also feature this color as well. Overtakes are similar to big games in terms of color, but with the driver glove design, so I paired them with the Tiger Tooth, but here we have the Shadow Dagger since the Inspect is incredibly vibrant and matches the darker orange on the inner palms. I tried Queen Jags with literally every finish in the game and it just didn't mix well, so instead I kept it nice and simple by going with a vanilla Karambit, matching the black handle with the leopard print and using gray as a secondary color. Lunar Weaves can pair with two knife finishes, but I chose the Knight specifically on the butterfly since the Inspect looks amazing, and the handles have blue accents that match the base color of the glove seamlessly. Crimson Weaves are quite shiny when it comes to bright lighting, so I paired them with the Stiletto Slaughter for the red on red base colors, and the brown handle on stilettos matches the inner palm and the pattern on the back of these gloves. Racing Greens are not my favorite gloves, but I can't deny the fact that Lure knives are the perfect combo since they have dark green handles, and yellow on green is genuinely a good color mix. I picked the Gut Knife for the cheap price and a huge handle that's always visible. Diamondbacks are similar to Queen Jags in color, however, they do actually work with Battle Scarred Black Laminate since they start turning green. The ideal flow for Karambits is .80 and above for the best color match. Look, trying to find combos for these gloves took 5 years off my lifespan, and I can confirm firsthand that these gloves don't work with anything. The absolute best that you could do here is Boreal Forest Shadow Daggers with the brown handles, but that's literally it. Moving on to specialist gloves, we have Fade, and these gloves can be paired with a massive amount of knives since they're pattern based. Here we have one of the cleanest and most creative combos, a max yellow Fade pattern paired with a Bowie Doppler Phase 2, which features yellow accents to match the right glove and a pink blade to match the left glove. Crimson Web gloves are pretty much meant to be paired with a Crimson Web knife, and while it is a pretty standard combo, you can personalize and improve this set by finding a knife and gloves with patterns that have centered webs on them. The huge downside to Marble Fade gloves is that they're not pattern based, so it limits what knives you could use, but they have great pairing potential with Marble Fade knives, specifically Fire and Ice patterns since the right hand mainly features blue and red as the base colors. Field Agent gloves are excellent for blue steels, and using a Huntsman will keep the total price low, while you get to enjoy a huge blade in game. Any blue steel will work for a good match, but Huntsmans provide the best value here. Emerald webs are in the same boat as hedge mazes. It's hard to pair them with gamma dopplers since they're so bright, but the best option here is a Bowie gamma doppler phase 2 since it has the light green accents and a black handle for a perfect combo with the gloves, and the blade is pretty much standalone here. Crimson kimonos are my favorite red gloves, and the finish most worthy of this combo will be the rubies. The Huntsman pairs well with the black handle and a generous ruby price, but I will say karambits look a bit better at a 5-figure price point. Moguls don't need crazy knives to look good. You could use a Urban Masked M9 for a wonderful combo that looks way better than it really should. Both the gloves and the knife are also pattern based, so you have a ton of room for creativity as well. Tiger Strikes are similar to POWs, where they have orange that is hard to match, and while Talon Tiger Tooths do look great here, the Mango Fade Butterflies simply look better in all aspects, both in looks and the unique factor as well. Lieutenant Commander gloves are limited to safari meshes and classic vanillas, and the choice was easy. This vanilla has a gray blade that pairs well with the pattern on the back of the gloves, and the signature classic knife wear also matches the leather spots for a perfect combo. I have never seen anyone run foundation gloves in game, mainly due to their uninspired design, but I will highlight the fact that this is one of the best gloves to pair with a stiletto white gem, and it fits the simple aesthetic as well. I don't recommend buckshots for making combos. They don't match with other camo knives and are too dark for rust coats, so the only real choice you have is going with a vanilla knife, so I used a paracord to match the theme. Forest DD Pats on the other hand have great synergy with lore knives, where the base green pattern matches the handle and the Tortu logo matches the burnt orange color on the Huntsman knife, one of the most underrated combos in the game. Next up we have Hydras, and for the case hardened gloves I went with a case hardened karambit. Since both are pattern based and use the same finish, you can create some insane combos. Here I used two patterns that are primarily burnt orange with streaks of purple for a perfect combo. Emerald gloves have a unique lime color on the accents, which pairs very well with Shadow Dagger's Gamma Doppler Phase 2 since the accent color on the handles is bright green, and it's a great budget combo for the green enjoyers out there. Mangroves only work with safari mesh knives, so I went with a Talon that had a pattern with the darker layout instead of the typical tan for a solid combo color-wise, and you can replicate this on just about any knife for standard market price. Rattlers are very similar to Diamondbacks, so they also don't work with most knives in the game, except for battle-scarred Black Lamb karambits in .80 flow and above. Besides this combo, I don't recommend going with these gloves in general. Cobalt Skulls have a clean dark blue that is great for matching with sapphires, and since these gloves aren't overly expensive, I paired them with a Huntsman. Like I said before, the pattern on the knife itself makes all the difference with these combos. Overprints are a great match for high tier knives, and for this combo I went with a Karambit Gamma Doppler Phase 3, specifically a cyan bit for the best color match possible. If you like vibrant colors, this combo is one of the best. Caution gloves are bright yellow, so I recommend going with a darker color on the knife to balance out the combo. Vanilla karambits are a good choice since the gray blade is a perfect match for the lower wraps that we get on these gloves. Duct tapes have a perfect match with vanilla talons. The ivory handle matches the white wraps, while the blade matches the base silver color, and it's another two-tone combo that makes decent gloves look great. Slaughter wraps are typically paired with slaughter knives, but I prefer a gut knife ruby since the handle and the blade are the same color as the wraps. If you enjoy gut knives, this combo has everything you would want, a gem knife and a perfect color match. Desert Chamas pretty much need stiletto knives for their brown handle to make a good combo, and the Tiger Tooth finish is a great choice to go with a brown-orange colorway that has a royal theme in mind. Leathers are basically duct tapes, but the brown version, and match with a Talon Rust Coat for the exact same reasons. Ivory handle on the white wraps, and a brown blade on the base color. I did go lighter with the Rust Coat wear at .60 for a lighter brown to match these gloves better. If the Convoys took 5 years off my lifespan, Arboreals took about 10. It's another glove that literally doesn't work with a single knife in game, so I recommend your standard cheap vanilla, and that's about as good as it gets. Constrictors used to be the king of Rust Coat combos, and while these knives did get a huge nerf, I still think the Stiletto Rust Coat at .90 flow is a great match due to the brown handle and dark brown color of the blade. Giraffes also take advantage of the ivory handle on Talons for a good combo, and I specifically went with .70 flow on the Rust Coat to dial in the brown color exactly as it is on the animal print with these gloves. Badlands have a deep orange color that can only be found on specific lore knives, and the flip knife actually has the most burnt orange out of all the lores, with barely any yellow, so the combo looks incredible for this color theme. Spruce DD-Pats have exactly one knife that they work with, and that's the vanilla flip knife. The good part is that this combo looks amazing for what it is. The handle matches the pattern while the blade matches the base color of the gloves. And finally, we get to the 4 Bloodhound Gloves, with Charred being first. They have a great budget combo using a Huntsman Autotronic where the base red colors match with the mesh on the cuffs, and the silver blade pairs with the emblem as well. Bronze gloves are perfect for vanilla, so I opted for the falchion as the budget pick. The silver blade pairs nicely with the silver accents and leather that's featured on the palm. You can also switch out the knife for a cheap vanilla that you like the most. Snakebite gloves are insanely hard to pair knives with. I had to get creative and use a Mag's Black scorched pattern on shadow daggers to fit the dark gray color on the leather. That's pretty much the only finish that can work with the color scheme of these gloves. For the last and final glove, we have Gorilla, which does work with Boreal Forest knives, and the best option is a falchion for the cheap price, but also the handle which turns green and is visible when you idle the knife. The color match is excellent here. So that's it for today. Like I said before, this did take a massive amount of time, so if you guys did enjoy the video, please consider dropping a like and subbing to support the channel. New longer form videos are coming soon, so stay tuned for that, and with that being said, I hope to see y'all in the next video. Peace out everyone.